Hi, Amy.
Hi, Gilly.
Thanks for being here today. We took some time for you. You're not very far in my group, but we're collecting testimonials today. So I would love to hear a little bit about your journey of how you came to be in my I Am Superconscious group. What has been your experience before, during, how long you've been in the group, etc. So let's start there.
All right, so I actually was doing the sessions with you for a few years now, back when you were doing them before, and I got you sent me a webinar actually for your sound frequency and the the yeah coaching, and I did that webinar, and that was the most intense experience I've ever had in this work, and I've been doing this work for since 22 actually, so 3 years.
Mhm.
And that was absolutely completely fresh take on it, and it was just great. It's like a totally different approach, and I love it. It's such a good community. You have such good insight that's totally fresh, and really simplifies whatever you have going on in your life with the casual like simplification and then redirection towards what you want to create. It's really beautiful.
I love that. So, yeah, I was a top coach at another group for another company. It wasn't mine, but I was top coach there. And I think uh, we were Facebook friends, or we somehow got you invited to one of my free webinars. That's right. And I remember because I started using frequency in combination with my Superconscious Recode and quantum healing together is what
Yeah.
feels like maybe made the difference for you.
Yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it, but like also it's your personality, you know what I mean? That's like you'll just sit there and be like, "Well, that's kind of ridiculous. Have you thought of this?" And it's like, "Oh my God, I didn't." You're right. I was being ridiculous. You
Well,
don't say
we
it
each
like
have someone
don't.
that we resonate with, and sometimes we need to hear things a certain way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you say it a lot nicer, I'm just like translating the way you said it into reality, but like, yeah. No, everything is a lot simpler than it seems from your own perspective. All you have
Great.
to do is what you want to create and go for it.
Great. I'd love to know so far, how long have you been in the group? A couple months? A month?
I think something like that.
So, what do you think
I
are the biggest shifts so far? Challenges you may have experienced before starting and versus a couple months in, or 1 or 2 months in?
so before starting, I was trying to implement the program and I kept hitting a wall because I tried it I understood that I tried to implement it. It did not implement in my life very well. Like I'd get it for like a day and then I'd flip right back, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
since I've programmed, I feel like I've gotten more clarity from you on how to actually implement it into day-to-day life so that you're like living it instead of trying to live it. And so for me, the biggest thing that I had to learn, which is the hardest thing for me, it is not my natural state. I am an Enneagram 3. I like to do, go, goal, but I've had to actually stop and be like, okay, like, and I know I've heard this a million times before, but it was just like the way you approached it was like, I just need to stop. Like, there's an obvious step I need to take, and then I need to just let it go and trust because everything else that's working around, if I just try to go all the time, even when I don't have a next obvious choice, I'm just gonna hit walls because I'm not allowing the superconscious to work in the field the way it is. I'm interfering.
Got it. So for those who may not know what an Enneagram 3 is, there's nine personality types. I'm actually a nine, which in my upbringing, I always felt like I was a nobody, and so I can relate to everybody. But a 3 is someone who is competitive and always seeking success, therefore always in action, yet there can't be success without going within and internalizing the learning and allowing to receive. And I think that's been your takeaway is I must pause to receive also
Yes. Yeah.
the rhythm and to trust yourself to that the pause, it will come.
Yeah.
Tell me about maybe your stress level or anxiety before starting to work together and a little bit about your inner power versus before.
So I definitely feel like in just even in the last like 2 weeks that I've really stepped into like my personal power, like an
Mm.
approach, starting to approach life from a place of personal power. Because I started to pause a little bit, which has really helped. you know? But that's something I have a big struggle with the trying to always do thing. It really, in a way, it takes away the personal power because I'm always putting it in the next thing I'm doing, or that this, you know what I mean? Always like ahead of me instead of in the present moment within me. But
Mhm.
the session we had recently about time, the time and the, I think it was should have or should something.
Shoulda, coulda,
Yeah,
woulda, FOMO,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, those really hit home because that I think that's what allowed me to give myself permission to slow down when I need to slow down because time doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Like everything's happening in the perfect way in the perfect time, and by me not respecting that and going with the flow of it, all I do is take away what I'm working towards, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You know? Yeah.
So, what does that help your overall stress or anxiety? Is there a measurable difference?
Oh
Would you?
yeah, for sure, because I'm putting trust in the superconscious, like the higher self, basically, which makes it where like I don't need to sit up at night stressing out about stuff. I don't need to be having an anxiety about how this situation's going to turn out because all I have to do is make sure I'm in the right structure and I'm taking an action when I need to, and yeah, I'm living a life I love when I don't.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah, it's really about learning how to trust your own guidance system, isn't it? And
Oh
we're
yeah,
just so programmed to be in stress and worry that we don't even realize that that's how we're running our daily lives, and it does not allow us to love our lives.
exactly. Because you're worried about tomorrow or a week from tomorrow or all kinds of stuff. Like, but none of it really matters because when you get there, it'll be different than you think it is in your head when you're worrying. So I just gotta love the moment you're in.
Wow. And what else have you noticed being in this new outlook in your life? What have you noticed how is that reflected in your outside world, in your relationships, in work, in finances? How how has your perspective shifted or your experience of the world, immediate and outside world, has
I
changed
have no,
so far?
I've noticed that my daughter and I, my daughter's 17, we have gotten so close since I just kind of let go of all the stress, worry, and anxiety. Like we're just connecting on a level we didn't connect on before, which I think was because I wasn't open to that connection because all my energy was going into trying to figure this out and trying to make sure that, worked out and all that. And just since I've hit the whole letting it go and putting trust that the rest of it will work out, her and I have gotten incredibly closer.
Oh,
I've also noticed that life's just going a lot smoother, like a lot
that's
smoother. A
great.
lot of my stress was financial worries, which I think it's the case for most people. And since I've kind of just, I take the steps where I need to take them. And other than that, I just trust it'll work out. Like I had multiple occasions of money just coming in that shouldn't have come in or wasn't expected. And it was exactly what I needed to take care of something and stash some in savings, which I'll tell you what, these last 2 weeks are the first time I've been able to get a savings going, which is awesome.
That's great, especially in this time where everybody's worried about money and finances. As you can see, circumstances don't negate in the outside world whether you can manifest more abundance in your life. And
Yeah,
it's really for you, it seems like it's about the letting go of the need to control the outcome.
yes. Yeah, because I'll zero in on it and be like, all right, if I make this maneuver and that maneuver, I can secure that this turns out like that. And really, you just, that whole period of time that you're taking those actions like that, it's like you didn't live that part of your life. You just sold that part of your life to hope that you got the end situation to be this. And you know what I mean? Like, there are steps you need to take if you have a goal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, like, I mean, I need to go to work if I want to get a paycheck until so I can get my own business going. Like, that's a step on the way, like in my world at least. And yeah, no, it's just crazy how it works. Like it doesn't make sense logically at all, but it does. It works.
It really works, and we are so afraid to let go of that control to let it work. So I congratulate you for trusting in your own superconscious, right?
Yeah,
Because it's your superconscious that does the work once you learn that you have a direct contact with it. And once you learn to decipher what is serving you in your life and what really isn't, so you can stop giving it energy.
yeah, definitely,
True.
definitely. It's
So
incredible.
I'm so glad to hear that your journey is unfolding in the way it has in such a short time together. And this work has really done the same for me. It just happened in such a short time, especially once I allowed the frequencies and the quantum healing all together with the energy work that was already so powerful and the structure and learning that. So if someone's watching this and they're like wondering, well, what, how is this apply to me? How is it if I'm too busy? I don't have enough money. I don't have time. Like, what would you say to someone who is thinking of joining, but they're kind of stuck in their lives without a lot of resources or time or worry about the future to step into something like this in this container? How does it work for you and how do you show up with your busy schedule? Because I understand you work full time.
Oh yeah, well, there's always replays for one, but as far as taking the plunge in, like I'm a single mom. I live in Idaho. I make very little money compared to wages in most of the rest of the states. But you can literally join for as little as $99 a month. Like you can cut out a couple coffees, cut out this, you know what I mean? Like you can come up with that money really easily and it will totally change your life. Like it lets you it basically it like okay, so you go from like this structured road where like there's not a lot of hope of jumping up, and things changing to like standing at the base of a mountain and then suddenly you're on the top of the mountain. Like it's only 2 hours a week unless you want to put more time in. Like that's all. And the 2 hours go by like 30 minutes. Like they're so fast and they're separated, 2 different days. But you can figure it out if you're willing to. It's totally worth it. You would not regret it whatsoever. And I think there's even like, isn't there like a couple week period of trial for it too, or something like that?
There was, there was. I took it away because people kind of put it off. They didn't have enough skin in the game.
Oh yeah,
When you don't have skin in the game, you don't realize the gold mine you're sitting on. And so we tr are trying some different things to make sure that you're showing up for your investment, right?
yeah.
And then if you show up, that's really all you got to do is show up, is what
It's
you're.
all you got to. Yeah, all you got to do is show up. It's so worth it. Like it is an investment that you will never regret making, like ever, because you totally just like jump into a whole different reality, but you're still in your reality, but you're like you learn how to be happy and love your life. You learn all the things that society like trains you to not learn, and it takes minimal effort on your part, like to get the most out of the program. 2 1 hour classes and 5, well, really 5 to 15 minutes every morning. And that's it.
Yeah,
Like
we
it,
have to just realign because when we wake up, we can wake up like all stressed and stuff, but we have a system to just quickly realign you. And the question that came to mind when you were saying that is the investment, you get a return on your investment in not just feeling better and loving your life more, but also opening up or releasing your money block so you can
yeah,
receive more. But let me ask you, does it make you feel like you're settling for the life that you have now without, goals or going for more? If you can just love your life now, aren't you settling?
absolutely not. It's more okay. So typically, most people they'll focus on all these things they don't like in their life, and then you just create more of what you don't like. But my life right now is not absolutely perfectly what I envisioned, but I love every day of it. Like, because I focus on all the things I love, and then I also focus on my goals of what I want. Like, and so I'm enjoying every day of my life, no matter what happens, no matter what negative thing, potentially negative thing happens. There's still stuff I absolutely love about my life. Like I love my morning coffee with my daughter. You know what I mean? That's a highlight of my day. We do our focus together with coffee. She just started drinking it, so it's still a big deal. But but we're focusing on this is what we want to create. We put our energy on that, and then we come back to what we're living, and we have such a good life. I mean, we're living more now than my 30 some years before you know what I mean? Like I didn't live until I started doing this.
Being present with what really matters
Yeah.
because you don't get that time back, especially
Nope.
your daughter being 17. I started this work when my son was 17 as well. So
That's
I can,
awesome.
yeah. And another thing is what I'm getting is there's so much wasted energy um, while going for your goals in worry and striving and pushing instead of just creating those same goals, but allowing them to be in flow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like totally. Like so just a basic situation. My daughter and I are living in a 29-foot travel trailer at the best RV park I could imagine. We have an amazing community. But what our goal is. We want to get a property with acreage. We want to be farming our own food. We want to rescue animals there, all that kind of stuff. But that's not what's happening right now. But that's okay because we got it's a really adorable little fence and we're putting it around the trailer and we are planting our own garden there. And that will be just fine until we secure everything else. And we're super excited about it.
Right. You're not waiting to have the experiences you love.
Yeah,
You have the 10 acres that you're going for. You can have it now in a maybe a smaller version, but you're having that experience because you're already being that energy of the version of yourself that has the land, and
exactly.
allowing that once you're in that energy, it manifests so much quicker. And
Yeah,
with
we're having a blast too.
oh, so good.
Like,
I'm so glad to hear that. I can't thank you enough. Any last words to share that you can think of that maybe I didn't touch on that you noticed about your life or want to give advice to anyone else?
my advice would be to do it. Like, don't even think about it, just do it because it's amazing. Like, the way your life will transform in just 1 month, as long as you show up. I mean, you could spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on so much stuff to fix yourself, or you could do this and like fall in love with yourself and your life and everything you have and everything you want. Like, it's the best thing you could ever do for your life.
I'm
And the
so glad.
frequencies are amazing.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun using the PEMF and high dose frequencies in this
Yeah,
program, like unlike any other. Well, thank you so much for the shares and inspirations, and I congratulate you for stepping up, for showing up, and to just allow yourself to receive. There's the lesson.
I
Awesome.
appreciate the way you approach things. It really helps.
My pleasure. Hey, where'd you go? All right.